Out of all the great performance artists throughout history, one of my favorites is Jim Acosta. There's a group of guys called the Yes Men that have been very successful at pranking the media over the years, like the time one of them duped the BBC into letting them on air thinking he was the CEO of a chemical company, making complete fools of the BBC and the company.
The BBC was forced to apologize to Dow Chemical today for broadcasting a hoax interview by an anti-corporate protester. The man appeared on BBC World claiming to be a representative of the Dow Chemical Group.
But the thing is, with most of these kinds of stunts, the prankster is shortly discovered after their skit. But Jim Acosta has been able to keep this thing going for almost 4 years now.
Mr. President, if I may ask one other question, are you worried?
That's enough. That's enough.
Mr. President, I was going to ask one of the other folks.
That's enough.
Pardon me, ma'am. Mr. President.
That's enough. Put down the mic.
A guy named Alan Abel really pioneered being a media prankster, and back in the 70s and 80s, he would announce all these press conferences for crazy ideas and pretend to be all these different people just to show how easily the media could be duped because they don't fact check anything, and just time after time they would go to air with these ridiculous stories that he kept feeding them.
He's known to some as the world's greatest hoaxer.
That's his art form. His art form is the hoax.
Others call him a complete menace to the media.
Alan Abel was my first real lesson in journalism.
He relishes pulling a fast one on reporters.
Fooling the public by twisting the media's tail.
A veteran media hoaxer, Alan Abel.
And it's obvious that Jim Acosta was inspired by Alan Abel and added his own unique style to being a media prankster. The way that he parodies a typical left-wing reporter is so good that sometimes it's hard to tell that he's in character and that he's punking all of CNN and the Democrat members of Congress who watch every night. It's really amazing. Do you remember when Captain Jenks from the Howard Stern Show would prank call CNN all the time and was able to get on air and then make complete fools of the anchors?
Today's the day basically to stay home. We have emergency snow situations all up and down the New Jersey Turnpike. We're trying to keep commercial vehicles off the road and get the salt trucks and the plow trucks down. Today's the day to just sit in your homes and contemplate Howard Stern on American Idol.
No kidding. Listen, we know that a number of flights, most flights have been canceled in and out of New York airports for the afternoon. What's the difference? What does it mean that the airport is shut down? Does that mean it's a bigger deal?
You're a dumbass. You don't know this is a prank call?
Oh, that's what you got us, Gene. Very good. All right, Gene Lasker. We are going to confirm that our information about New Jersey's Newark Airport being shut down is actually correct.
I didn't think that anybody would be able to infiltrate CNN and humiliate them for their lack of vetting sources before going to air with information like Captain Jenks did, but Jim Acosta has taken things to a whole new level. One of my favorite Jim Acosta stunts was when he baited President Trump into calling him fake news. I think that was in January 2017, and that really set the course for how the president would be dealing with the network from that point on.
I'm not going to give you a question.
Can you state categorically?
You are fake news.
Sir,
go ahead.
Can you state categorically that nobody... No, Mr. President-elect, that's not appropriate.
Trump's a smart guy, and he can tell when someone's trying to punk him, and he was the only one who was able to spot that Ollie G was trying to prank him back in the early 2000s when Sacha Baron Cohen got a sit-down interview with a bunch of people to pitch these ridiculous inventions like the ice cream glove that he wanted them to invest in.
Well, my idea is to come out with just like these ice cream gloves that make the ice cream not go on your hands and make it all well sticky.
Folks, it's been nice seeing you. You take care of yourself, okay?
Well, is you going to be in on that?
Well, it sounds like an interesting...
We've got like P. Diddy is going to be in it.
Good.
Everybody else sat there listening and thought maybe it was a good idea, but Trump smelled him right away and knew that it was a joke. Part of Jim Acosta's genius is not just playing the part of an unhinged Democrat, but getting others to go along with his absurdities. Like when he got Brooke Baldwin to agree that the press should wear buttons that say, "We're not fake news."
I think, maybe we should make some bumper stickers, make some buttons. Maybe we should go out on Pennsylvania Avenue, like these folks who chant CNN sucks and fake news. Maybe we should go out, all journalists should go out on Pennsylvania Avenue and chant, because I'm tired of this. Honestly, Brooke, I'm tired of this.
And Brooke's like nodding her head like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Totally oblivious that she's being trolled. Pure genius. In my old man on the street interviews, I would often pretend to be a dumb liberal just to get people's reactions to the absurd things that I was saying.
Is Hillary Clinton's white privilege tax long overdue? Should we have implemented that many years ago?
The program is called white privilege tax?
The white privilege tax, just to help out with the income in the minority communities.
I mean, yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
But Jim has truly outdone me. Another great bit that he did is when he went down to the border wall and he was basically like, seems to be working great. Nobody's crossing here. And back in the CNN studio, Wolf Blitzer, whoever is like, thanks for that report, Jim. Completely oblivious that he just proved the president's case, why we need to expand it.
And here are some of the steel slats that the president's been talking about right here. As you can see, yes, you can see through these slats to the other side of the U.S.-Mexico border. As a matter of fact, it's pretty tranquil down here.
That was comedy genius right there. Nobody has done that quality of deadpan humor since Bob Newhart. I don't know how Kayleigh McEnany keeps a straight face during the White House press briefings, and some people may say that it's a dirty trick for Republicans to plant a fake reporter like Jim in the White House press corps to ask ridiculous questions to make the media look bad, but politics is a dirty business. There are rumors going around that Roger Stone pulled some strings to have Jim Acosta embedded in CNN to embarrass the network, and with his history of dirty tricks, I wouldn't be surprised. When he got his press pass suspended for acting like a jackass all the time, I'm sure that he thought the gig was finally up, but CNN actually defended him and he got it back.
Mr. President, will you stop calling us the enemy of the people, sir? Will you stop calling the press the enemy of the people, sir? Mr. President, will you stop calling the press the enemy of the people, sir? Everybody, thank you.
Mr. President, if there is no collusion, Mr. President, if there is no collusion, why does Rudy Giuliani keep saying there is no crime and collusion?
Let's go.
Mr. President, do you think other countries, Mr. President, do you think other countries should not allow children to stay with their parents if they come in illegally?
Come on, Jim. Go. We're done.
It's really going to blow their mind when they realize what he did with his book, which he obviously wrote as satire, but the Democrats took it seriously. Have you ever heard of that book, Letters from a Nut? I think it was published in the late 1990s, where this guy wrote a bunch of crazy letters to all these different companies and organizations, and most of them wrote him back not getting the joke and not wanting to offend him or lose a customer, and then he published a book showing the letter that he sent them and then their response. Jim basically did the same thing. He filled an entire book with the most outlandish conspiracy theories and accusations about the president, and Democrats didn't get the joke. They thought it was real. He was even invited on Jimmy Kimmel's show to talk about it.
I think the photograph on the cover of this book, there's you right here, kind of just says the whole thing. And you asking a question, the president going, all right, Jim, damn it.
Jim is basically the conservative Sacha Baron Cohen. He's been doing prank interviews for decades, and recently had a series on Showtime where he went undercover and got a bunch of interviews with Republican members of Congress and made them all look like idiots, and that's fine. Some of it was funny. But it's good to know that Jim is on our side doing the same thing to the Democrats, and watching them go along with his antics and not get the joke is really one of the funniest things I've seen throughout the Trump administration.
Just to give you a sense as to what's happening right now, you can hear there is a chorus of boos and other chants from this Trump crowd here in Tampa, Florida. They're saying things like CNN sucks, go home, and fake news. Wolf, obviously, all of those things are false. We're staying right here. We're going to do our job and report on this rally to all of our viewers here tonight.
And I just admire him so much for his creativity and for being able to stay in character and for keeping this thing going as long as he has. So thanks, Jim. You are awesome.
That was obviously a lie.
And by the way, if you enjoy my style of comedy, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're new here, because I know you're going to want to see my new videos, which I put out several times a week. And if you want to support my work and get an awesome shirt, head on over to my online store at markdice.com and get yourself a Liberalism Find a Cure shirt, an I Love Global Warming shirt, or any of my awesome designs, all available in a t-shirt, long sleeve, and a hoodie, and a whole bunch of different colors as well. So head on over to markdice.com or click the link in the description below and check them out.